Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video, I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. Now let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Mother-in-Laws from Hell and it's by user LivingHoneydew2257. Dinner with mother-in-law took unexpected turn. My mother-in-law and I went out to dinner together as my husband and my father-in-law were out at a concert. They are from out of state and were staying with us for a few days. My mother-in-law is intense and does not hold back on overly displaying how much she loves her son. Well, at dinner, after 3 martinis and me completely sober as my husband and I are trying to conceive, she looks at me and goes, "If you ever break my son's heart, I will effing end you. I mean it. And his sister will too. She watches a lot of Dateline." I was so stunned that she said this after 6 years together and understanding how strong our relationship is. Her own words in another conversation were, "I couldn't have asked for a better wife for my son. You two are a perfect match and so blessed." Unfortunately, I was so stunned that I did not respond the way I wanted and kind of babbled on something about not needing to be worried. I told my husband this and he was appalled. My question is, when she undoubtedly says something offensive like this again, is there a way to respond that is stronger and more defensive of myself? I just really can't believe the tone with which she said it, and while this is not the first time she has said it, it felt intense. Well, OP, first thing I'm gonna say is that your mother-in-law's not really good at logic. What she said makes no sense. If she ends you, then your husband's sister's not gonna get a chance to do it, regardless of how much Dateline she watches. All joking aside, if I was in your shoes, I would shut that down with a simple, "You do not talk to me like this." I don't know who you think you are, but again, you do not talk to me like this and don't ever do it again. Are we clear? Now, that will either shut her whole behavior down and she will babble something in agreement, or she will try to fight you, and to which you say, "This is not a debate," and then you get up and walk away if you don't feel like being in her presence anymore, or you just ignore her until she acknowledges that she was disrespectful and she changes the topic or you start talking about something else. What I wouldn't do is kind of laugh it off as a joke or, try to placate her and tell her that, she shouldn't worry or anything like that. You shut it down, that's it. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you have handled her mother-in-law? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Reboots are such a pain says, quote, "It's disappointing that you feel this way about me because I could never let a person who is so unkind to me have a close relationship with my child." End quote. And OP responds, "And the stress about how she will act around my future child is already in full force. I think the point about how disappointing it is will also be key. Thank you so much." Glove Imaginary 4716 says, "OMG, that's horrendous. I would state clearly that you understand that she thinks that kind of statement comes from a place of love and being a protective mother. But if she ever threatens you again, you will go no contact and her son will most likely follow suit. I'm so sorry you had to see her true colors like that." And OP responds, "Thank you. I really appreciate your response because she disguises hurtful comments as coming from a place of love like you said. In the future, I will use this." Large Alternative 78 says, "Don't be anywhere with her alone. In fact, you should be no contact immediately for her threatening you. I'd have jumped down my mother's throat if she ever dared to speak to my wife like that." And OP responds, "I agree with you. I think my husband needs to say something. I told him not to because they only see each other a few times a year and I do not want them to fight while they are under my roof, but there may be no choice when something like this is said." Additional information from OP's comments. "I know it was a mistake for me to have stopped my husband from putting her in her place. You are all right. She should respect me while she is in my house. After hosting and cooking and making them comfortable for days, this is what she chooses to say. The more I think about it, the more angry I get. Thanks for all your responses." Alright, well, the community gave OP different ways to try to respond to her mother-in-law the next time she would say something idiotic like what she said over dinner. And I of course agree with the whole community. OP should not have stopped her husband from putting his mother in his place. Apparently that's what he was going to do, but OP thought, let's try to keep the peace here. In a situation like this, no, sorry, F the peace. Disrespect to your wife doesn't fly. In any case, it's time to move on with the update to see how this story ends. But before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, because that always helps, and subscribe if you haven't become a part of the community yet. Now, let's continue with the update. I first want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the many encouraging comments. This whole experience was a major wake-up call not to allow someone to speak to me this way and reevaluate boundaries and people-pleasing tendencies. It also makes me realize that I am not alone. There are several of you in this community who stand up for themselves and are learning these lessons too. I would also like to add that never did I feel my life was in danger. I understand the severity of what she said. However, dramatic is her middle name, and this phrase is something I have heard her say to many others, including my dear husband's friends. For taking him up on a hiking trip, whoa, how horrible, and myself. This does not change how seriously we reacted to the comment. So, flash forward to the day they left, the morning after the incident and the morning that I posted. Mother-in-law begins to send text after text with the most effusive love and support you could imagine regarding her stay with us and our loving home. We ignore them because we are both working, and also, who cares? The plan was for my dear husband to call her after work. She knows something is up because now she is calling me. I let it go to voicemail and having her husband, who rarely messages me, to see if I'll reply. My husband calls her as soon as he gets home and absolutely blasts her. While he was firm and calm, there was no mistaking that she was silent while he told her how unacceptable, disappointing, disturbing, and unnecessary that comment was. Her response? That's just how I talk. Dear husband explains that no one speaks to his wife like that, and no one understands her disjointed state of mind except for her. The call then ends. She calls him back 10 minutes later, classic move once she's thought about what manipulative thing to say, and we ignore her. The following day rolled around and she called again, this time saying that she was joking and we took it the wrong way. Dear husband leans into her again and we decide that I will never be left alone with her. The hilarious thing about it is that dinner was the first time we were ever alone. This excuse was also used when she sent me a Weight Watchers promotional email, and when she told me my own mother being very sick a few days before my wedding was attention seeking. The list goes on. My dear husband has no more rose-colored glasses on for her BS. It feels so good. Also, dear husband finally lets me know for the first time that he has understood his mom's games since high school and that it is partly the reason he moved out of state. It goes way deeper than this, but wow, eye-opening. For now, I am no contact with her, and it looks like my husband will be too. Unfortunately, my father-in-law does not stand up to her, and this is a pattern I have witnessed for years. My husband's words were exactly, "No one keeps her in check aside from me." I would go absolutely insane with this situation if not for his support. The classic narcissistic behavior of playing the victim makes my skin crawl. I know that he loves his mom. This does not mean boundaries cannot be set, but I can only imagine how I would feel if I had to speak this way with my mom if she were to, God forbid, say something so unhinged. It's a shame because I would love for us to be a happy family, but that is just not possible with her. Monster-in-laws are no joke. Be safe out there, and thank you again for your support. Well, OP, I'm gonna call it a positive update. Not only did your husband have your back, but well, his rose-colored glasses are off, as you say, and you guys have set very clear boundaries. I agree, of course it sucks that your mother-in-law behaves this way and then she tries to laugh it off or play it off as a joke. No, it's no joke, it's a threat, so just don't be an idiot and that's it, we'll get along just fine. Hopefully this going no contact will make her reevaluate her behavior and things can improve. Until then, Here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Throwaway and a lot of numbers. Am I the a-hole for implying my girlfriend is the reason her dog got hurt? So, my 19 female girlfriend, 20 female, who I'll call Justine, has a little dog named Sam. For some background, Sam is probably the worst behaved dog I've ever met. He knows nothing, not even basic commands like down or sit. Literally nothing, and Justine is totally okay with this. When Sam jumps onto the table and starts to eat our food, she laughs and thinks it's cute. When he chews up her shoes, she shrugs it off and says that she shouldn't have left them out anyway. It's not even like he's a puppy though, he's 7. Anyways, on to the issue. Today, at the dog park at her building, Sam was running around off the leash because we were the only ones there and it's enclosed and fairly small. Another guy came up to the gate with a good-sized German Shepherd and said something along the lines of, "Hey there, my dog gets nervous around other dogs and isn't very friendly. Please put yours on a leash if he doesn't have a good recall. I'll only be here for a few minutes. We're going for a car ride and I want him to go potty." She shrugged and did as he asked, putting Sam on the leash. Although the whole time, Sam was barking and growling at this other dog. However, after holding him on her lap for about 2 minutes, she let him go. Just let him go. She didn't lose her grip, didn't do anything. Just said something like, "Okay, baby, go ahead." I tried to grab him, but he ran for the other dog and got nipped. The bite wasn't bad despite their size differences. It just made his ear bleed since the other dog's owner was able to grab him. After I finally grabbed Sam, I apologized to the owner profusely. I couldn't believe she just let him go, although Justine was pissed. She insisted the other guy give her his number and money for the vet bills she was sure would cost a fortune. I cut in and said, "He asked you to keep Sam away. He doesn't have to pay because you can't control your dog." He gave her his number but left almost immediately after. When we got back to her apartment, she wouldn't talk to me until a little bit ago when she asked if I had a problem with how Sam behaves. I told her the truth. I said that I don't think it's fair to blame the dog for how he behaved when she was the one that trained, or rather didn't train him. She was the one who let him behave so poorly, and I don't think he would have gotten hurt if she wasn't so lenient with him and let him go, or if he had a better recall. So, am I the a-hole for implying Justine is the reason that Sam got hurt? No, OP, of course not, because you are absolutely right. She's the a-hole in this situation for various reasons. One, being a bad dog owner, letting her dog jump on the table, chew her shoes, and then just not able to control him at all. Bad dog ownership right there. And two, I think she was trying to scam the other guy out of money. Either that or she's just a complete idiot. But actually, all those three things could be right at the same time. Regardless, OP, no, you are not the a-hole. Sam deserves better, I'd say. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Deleted says, not the a-hole. If she had kept hold of the leash, this wouldn't have happened. Did she tell you why she just let go? She set her dog up to get hurt. Did she tell you why? And OP responds, she said she felt bad that he had to sit and bark while the other dog got to walk around. The other owner just asked Sam to be on a leash, not that he couldn't walk around. Danny Mac 71 says, not the a-hole. She sounds like a real piece of work. She shouldn't own a dog. Is there any chance you can train the poor dog? And OP responds, I've tried before, but whenever I do, she gets mad at me and tells me not to control her dog and she can train him how she wants. We've had arguments about it before after she said that, and I said, that's the thing, you're not training him at all. ALR126 says, no, of course you're not the a-hole. She's going to lose that dog eventually, whether getting hit by a car or in a fight with another dog. He can still be trained. As for jumping on the table and eating your food, I guess you never have company? If you do, it's not fair to Sam to just lock him away. Ask her to take him to a trainer for his own good. Explain that with no recall, he's going to get out and that'll be the end of it. Oh, dogs thrive on uniformity and consistency. She'll see an entirely new Sam, in a good way. Alright, well, of course the community absolutely agrees that Opie is not the a-hole and that Justine here just absolutely sucks as a dog owner. I don't know how good she is of a girlfriend, doesn't sound like she's that cool, but still, not a good dog owner. In any case, Opie has given us 2 updates to this story, so let's move on with the first one. Okay guys, first of all, hello. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's taken the time to read this and give me advice. I really appreciate all of it. Secondly, I'd like to give a small update on what's happened since the original post. Last night, she told me to go home after a little bit more arguing, so I did. She didn't say anything to me, which was fine, but then this morning, as soon as the vet's office opened, I booked the first available appointment, which was lucky enough to be right after my dog's grooming appointment. I took my dog to the groomer from my apartment, then, as I was driving to my girlfriend's to pick up Sam and take him to the vet, I called the other owner. I apologized to him and said I in no way held him responsible, and since I'm in charge of the vet bills, I wasn't going to make him pay me anything. He seemed very thankful and was overall a cool dude, which was great. When I got to my girlfriend's, she yelled at me for not wanting to have the other owner pay for the bills, but honestly, I didn't care. I just took Sam and left. At the vet, he said I basically did all that could be done given how minor the injury was. He cleaned it and wrapped it to protect it from infection. While I was there, I asked how much it would cost to microchip him with my name and details, and if it was possible to do it today or if I needed to wait a few more days. He said he could do it while I was there if I was willing to wait a bit so he could prepare everything, which was fantastic. So I got him microchipped under my name. That means he's now officially my dog. After that, we went back to my house. Now, Sam and I are at my place until I go pick up my dog from the groomers. I'm also looking up some reputable trainers by my house so I can get him some proper training. I don't know how to tell my girlfriend I want to end things. I'm not good at wording breakups, but I don't want to ghost her. That feels cruel. Any suggestions? Well, OP, I don't think there's ever a good way at wording a good breakup that would make the other person feel okay about it. I would just be honest. Tell her why you fell out of love with her if you want to go down that route, because honestly, just saying, you know what, we're not working out, I think we should break up, is a very valid way to go. Now, the one thing I'm kind of confused is, did you kind of steal Sam away from her? I don't know, maybe I missed something in the way you wrote the post, but I get the impression that Sam was her dog, but you microchipped him under your name, so now he's legally yours. I don't know, that's kind of confusing to me. Anyways, it's time to move on to the final update to see how this story ends. Alright, so a lot of people are upset about the dog. However, I feel like I should clear some things up. When we got together, my name was put on the ownership registration for Sam. I'm considered a secondary owner, even if she was the primary owner. My name is on all the veterinary records from when we got together to now. He had never been to the vet beforehand besides his initial shots, although those records have my girlfriend's mom's names on it, not hers. There are no adoption or purchase papers because he was not adopted or purchased. Her mom found him on the street when he was 2, so she's only had him for 5 of the 7 years. I've spoken to 2 lawyers about this, my mom and sister, both of whom have said that while yes, as a secondary owner, she has the main rights, her name not being on any of the vet records and the fact that they're only consistent, I take him for quarterly checkups when my name was added to the ownership registrations, shows clear signs of neglect. Another sign of neglect is a text message between her and me where she tells me that she doesn't even know what vet he goes to because she's never taken him. While the dog doesn't live with me, I am a legal owner and I'm the one whose name is all over the vet's records. I am a legal owner and there are clear signs of animal neglect. Now, after she purposely let him go, it is endangerment on her part, which would default to me being the primary owner. Also, regarding my relationship with Justine, I'm definitely going to break up with her, but a few people have made me reconsider taking Sam for myself. I think it was the right decision based on how she acts, how she treats him, and overall how horrible she's been. However, I'd need time to think it over. Final update. Y'all, she dumped me. She broke up with me, and the best part is that she wants me to keep Sam since he gets upset when I'm not home. Alright, well, I guess, OP, that this is a happy update, particularly for Sam and you. I don't know about Justine. I think it's a happy update for her as well, because I did check OP's profile because, of course, I wanted to see Sam tags, and here you go. But I also saw some messages from OP and her ex-girlfriend in which she states that she prefers OP to take Sam. So on that note, here's wishing you the best for you and Sam in the future, OP. Thank you so much for sharing, and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.